Hello, 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 hello. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. So I'm just going to give it a minute for everybody to join. And here we go. Awesome. So today it's all about cash injection. So we're going to have a 4-day sprint. And what we're going to do during this 4-day is look at various ways that you can inject more cash into your business. And the reason I am doing this now is because there's this myth that summers is a slow month, especially August. And I would say, yes, more people are on holiday, but the fact that more people are on holiday does not change the fact that you can do more with your business. So, what we're going to do in these 4 days is look at various ways and various things you need to do to be able to inject some cash into your business before the month is out. Okay, so we are totally twisting it on its head, the whole myth that, oh, it is summers are slow months. It really depends on what it is that you're thinking, what it is that you're doing, and how it is that you go about the different products and services in your business. So if you can hear me okay, thanks for joining, Habiba. Just give me a thumbs up that I'm loud and clear, and then we can totally move on. So what we're going to cover in these 4 days. So I'm just going to give you a quick synopsis in regards to what we're going to do in these 4 days. So the clinic is going to be open on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Okay. And at the end of that, we're actually going to do this live. So everything that we're going to hear about, all the different questions that we're going to get during the clinic, we are going to finally have 24 hours where we actually implement all of this and go live. So that is the masterclass. It's called the 24 hours cash injection masterclass. And that is to bring in another 1 to 5K in the next 24 hours. As we go through, I'm going to share more details about that and which day we're at, which 24 hours we're going to be doing that on. And I'll be live here with you to make sure that you are able to carry all those strategies out, supporting you and so forth. So it's Monday. I know it is still shocking how fast the year is going, and the fact that it is so hot, and the fact that it's summer, and we have goals to meet, we have revenues to meet. And usually at this point in time, you start looking at, okay, we are halfway through the year. Am I meeting my revenue targets? How am I going about meeting those revenue targets? What can I do to boost those revenue targets? That is what we're looking at, and any questions that you might have around that. The very first thing, when you start looking at, okay, this is my target, this is where I am at the moment, and this is where I want to be. The first thing we're going to look at is, again, that mindset of what it is that you're trying to do and what you are trying to achieve. It is a massive myth that summer months are slow. It's more the products that you're putting out or the service that you're putting out are not suitable for that time of year. If you think about it from the corporate side, let's pick the retail industry. Most retail industries in every country tend to have summer sales. Why do you think they tend to do their sales in the summer? Again, because they're trying to make sure that they keep their cash flow, they keep their revenue at a certain point throughout the year. So you have to bear in mind that you have to change how you position your offers, how you bring forth your offers or your services at different times of the year to cater for certain seasonality. Like we have Black Friday. It could be the same product that you were selling in January, but then it's positioned differently for Black Friday. So as we go into the last quarter of the year, the last quarter tends to be the most profitable quarter in most industries because, again, we leverage things like summer sales, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Black Friday. I mean, I don't know how many other events we're going to create in this last couple of months of the year, but that is why that is happening, because a lot of industries are trying to do the final push to make sure that they hit their yearly targets. So when I'm talking about mindset, there's the normal things that we have all heard over and over again. When you're thinking about, okay, how do I bring a cash injection into my business? We're thinking, okay, what kind of mindset are you putting in place? So when you already start with, oh, summer is a slow month, so I might as well just chill for the whole summer, that is already coming from a point of a scarcity mindset, because you have to look from another perspective where, okay, more people are going on holiday, so there is less noise in my space. Regardless of what your space might be, any space you might be in, individuals will go on holiday. So that gives you an opportunity to be louder, for your voice to be heard when there is less people around. So that is one thing you want to think of. Okay, what can I say now that there's less people around, so that my voice can go further? I can project my voice further. So that is one thing you want to look about. Never believing that there is enough money or resources or time or people. That is not it. And if you think about it as well, it might be summer for you, but across the world, it's not necessarily summer. Okay, it could be winter or rainy season or whatever they call it. As we say in the space, like it's 5 o'clock somewhere. You know, when it's time when it's time for a sip, we say it's 5 o'clock somewhere. So only because it's summer for you doesn't mean it's summer for everybody else. So there are people out there. Then when you look at, again, the fear of investing, you want to invest that time, and not necessarily always money. You want to invest that time in putting that offer out there to make sure to reach people at their point of need. Because as you might be thinking that summer is a slow month, others might be thinking the same as well, that, oh, summer, there is nobody there for me to talk to, or summer, there's nobody there for to style me, or summer, whatever the issue might be, they might be having that same thing, and your product or your service might be what meets them at their point of need, because you are there. Let's say you're a counselor. Yes, I'm here during the summer. I am here to listen to you, or what the service might be. So you want to put in that investment of time to make sure that you're there for your audience, you're there for your customers when they need you to be. Lack of confidence is a big one, and that doesn't only happen in the summer. That happens throughout the year. But you just have to go out there. When it comes to confidence, I'm very much fake it till you make it. You know, the king's robes kind of scenario, where you put yourself in the space, in the clothing, in the environment where you feel confident. If you just think, okay, what makes me feel confident? And put yourself in that position then, or in those clothes, or with those people, and then you project what it is that you're trying to get at. Okay. And then we're talking about procrastination. You want to get over it. As I said, you want to just get on and do it. You want to just get on and just put it out there. The most important thing is that you put it out there, and then you're able to get information, whether it hit the point, whether you need adjustments, whether it was exactly what they needed, whether it was too much and you needed to bring it down a little. So when it comes to procrastination, I'll just say, just do it. Let's go Nike on this and just do it. So when it comes to the mindset then of bringing cash into your business for this lean summer, as we say it, I'm doing air quotes here. You want to have the abundance mindset that not everybody is on holiday. People are still here. People, not everybody not everywhere around the world is summer. So there are people around. Then you want that financial clarity as well, to understand that, okay, this is the time where I'm to do that cash injection. So what have I got already in my repository that I'm able to bring out, that I'm able to repackage, that I'm able to reposition, that I'm able to introduce to a new audience, to a new environment that will still serve them. Okay. And then proactive decision making. Just do it. Just go ahead and just do it, and just put it out there and see what comes of it. You'll be surprised how many ideas, how many businesses just happen and explode because of serendipity. It wasn't all intentional, like planned out and business plan, and we have like a 6 months launch and all that. They just go ahead and did it and test the waters. And the next thing you know, I have more information so I could tweak what I already have ready for the fall. Or it totally blows up and I'm totally delivering this to more people than I thought I would be. Okay. So some of the things that I've heard people say when it comes to cash injection. And the reason I'm focusing on cash injection is because we need that final boost this summer. So I do not need a cash injection. I need to work harder. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. You don't necessarily need to work harder. You just need to work smarter. And what we're going to do over this next couple of days is looking at different ways to work smarter. We tend to just throw this word around, but never actually bring an action plan to it. So, what I like doing is focusing on the 4 pillars of business success. And it starts with mindset, then you look at your skill set, then you look at your tool set, and then you look at your action set. All 4 are important for you to deliver whatever it is that you want to deliver. That's why I'm starting with mindset. And then we're going to follow through. And by the end of this, you should be able to have a plan in place to go ahead and have a cash injection day. And I'll share more about this later. I am going to actually be doing a cash injection day where you are going to be with me and we're going to carry out this strategy. The other thing I hear a lot of people say as well is, I'm not good enough with numbers. I'll just ignore my finances. Okay, finances is not necessarily all about numbers, and it's definitely more than just looking at your bank balance. And a lot of entrepreneurs in this space, they look at their bank balance to determine if they're doing well or not. There is more to it than that, because your bank balance is not necessarily all yours. That's why you end up with, really, really good months in quarter 1, quarter 2. Then you come into quarter 3 where all the expenses have come out, all the taxes have come out and all that, and you find yourself still falling short of where you wanted to be. You find yourself not being able to pay yourself what you want to be. You will not believe it that not a lot of business owners actually pay themselves. Not a lot of them pay themselves at all. And it's one thing if you decide that you're not paying yourself and you're intentionally putting that money back in your business. So when I come to you, you should be able to tell me, yes, I'm putting 10K back into my business every single month. Then that is intentional. Half the time it is not. So half the time, oh, I'm putting everything back in my business, but you do not know how much you're putting in your business. It's just like, if you think from an investor's point of view, you're going to tell somebody, oh, I'm going to invest in your business, but you cannot tell them how much you're investing in their business. That wouldn't work, would it? So why are you doing that to your business? So you should be able to quantify it a lot better. Another one I hear a lot of, I'll just cut my expenses to increase my profit. Although that is a strategy, there are just some things that are operationally foundational to running your business. So you cannot totally just go about and cut all your expenses. And also it's understanding again what it is that you need, what is your operational expenses, and what are your nice to have, what are your variable, like the ones that change from month to month, and what are fixed. Okay, so you could not just go carte blanche and just be cutting things out. Some things are necessary for you to run your business, but more times than none, we overextend in regards to our expenses. We overextend in regards to our tech stack as well. We just have too much technology for where we are right now in our business. So that is one thing you want to bear in mind as well, that yes, you can cut expenses, but also it might not necessarily be the right strategy for you at this particular point in time in your business. And then the final one, which is my pet peeve, I'll just follow what others are doing. It must be working for them. Okay. Again, you do not know what others are doing. As we like to say, you only see the highlight reel of what they're doing. You do not see the lowlights of what they're actually doing. Okay, we only see what we are told. Except if you actually work in the back end of that business, you do not know anything. Anybody can tell you anything and you just have to take their word for it. Also, they're telling you based on their understanding. So I could look at a business and I look at their balance sheet and I look at their profit and loss and say, this business is not profitable. Another person can look at that same balance sheet, can look at that same business, instead look at the profit and loss and just look at the revenue coming in and say, oh, fantastic, this business is profitable. It's the same business. So we are all using data in different ways. Okay, and most times it's inaccurate if you do not know how to understand what it is, understand the story that these numbers are trying to tell you, and you just interpret it or you take it out of context. Like when you take the revenue out of context, that yes, this is a 6-figure launch, it is out of context because you do not see the full picture of that launch. It could be a 6-figure launch, but the expenses were 7 figures. Would you say that's profitable? That is debatable as well. So what questions do you have when it comes then to cash injection? So now we're going to go into our, questions. I'll bring you up on stage if you have any questions around, any things you've heard, any things that you've overcome, any questions you might have around, bringing in more money in your business, especially in what we're calling the slow months. What has your experience been over the years? So Renee, thanks for joining. Maureen, I see you. That is absolutely awesome. So do you ladies have any questions around being more profitable, bringing in more cash in the business, and different strategies to go about it? Okay, if there are no questions, I am going to carry on. Again, I want this to be, as I said, a clinic where we are having, a back and forth conversation around the different struggles, the different strategies that you've tried, and also the different approaches that you have thought of when it comes to, okay, how can I bring more money in my business in the next, 2 weeks? We have 2 weeks until the month is out. So how can I bring more of that into my business? That is what we are talking about here. That is what we are focusing on here. So the other things as well that I wanted to bring up when it comes to how you go about putting yourself in that space of bringing in more money. One thing that we want to look at is, if we take it back a bit and we look at exactly what it is that I wanted to cover during this session. If we look at what we were looking at day one, which was maximizing income and uncovering revenue boosting techniques. What are some of these techniques that you can think of when it comes to revenue boosting or cash injection, as I'm calling it? A quick boost. What are some of these techniques that we want to explore? So when we're looking at cash injection or different ways that we want to bring cash into the business, what you want to focus on is understanding now if you have any fluctuations in your revenue. So I might be talking now about summer, but your fluctuation might be at a different point in time in the year. So if we go back, have you noticed a pattern in your revenue? Is it something that you can pinpoint and say, okay, I know for me, February, August, February and August are slow months. So what could I do in those months to boost my revenue, to make sure that I am still hitting the targets that I set for myself, either for the quarter, for the month, or for the year? What does it look like? So if I am to take, let's say, one of your, so I'm going to quickly go, okay, let me see, Renee. I'm going to quickly go onto your profile. And here, so we have fun and effective content planning for faith-driven women coaches and consultants. Okay, so your content planning. So if we're looking at that, then when it comes to content planning, do you have any slow months? And when you have slow months, what does that look like? Do you see a pattern in the way your customers buy, in your buyer's journey? Do you notice a certain pattern there? And rather than looking at the pattern as negative, we want to look at it as an opportunity. Want to look at it as an opportunity to leverage that. So how can you leverage the fact that, at certain times of the year, business is not necessarily, you know, hitting the mark as you hope it to? What are ways that you can bridge the gap for the lean periods? That is what we want to look at. What are the ways that you can close the gap during the lean period? Basically what it is. And we already covered what it is that we can do for mindset and where we need to be and how we need to be thinking about it. And I keep going back to this often again. And next thing is, if we look at the tips, I'm going to share 4 tips here with you in regards to how you can go about bridging those lean periods. So if we look at starting small, okay, you want to start small. You want to set aside a manageable amount in regards to how much it is that you want to hit for this particular, lean period. So you want to build up as you go. Okay, you do not want, you might decide that, okay, you want to have 10K months. Normally you do have 10K months, and that happens quite fine. But you come into the summer and you find yourself, ooh, I'm only at 3K. What can I do to bring it up to the 7? How could I bridge the gap to cover the 7K that I would have normally made if it was a normal month? Okay, so that's where we start about starting small. And then you want to leverage automation as well. There's a lot of talk around passive income. So, how can you go about leveraging automations to make sure that you are able to sell, you're able to provide your services, you're able to be in front of those that need your product or service at the point they need it? You don't want to be in a position where when you go on holiday, your business goes on holiday with you. You want to put some automations in place so that the business is still running, whether you're 1 week away, 2 weeks away, and so forth. So that is how also automations help you bridge the gap, because it might not necessarily be only during the summer. It might be during the year that, because you have these automations already in place, you might be targeting 10K a month, but there's certain months where you do 20K, and the additional 10K would cover up your lean months. So that's another way as well of thinking of it, that what could I have running continuously in the background whilst I focus on my core offer, whilst I focus on my signature offer. And that background humming will cover or help cover for the lean months. Because the idea here is not that every single month you're hitting the 10K, is that across the year you're able to hit 6 figures. So we're looking across the year rather than individual days or individual months. So you're putting these split things in place, like, starting small in regards to what you're putting out there for the lean months, and also automation. It's to allow you to build throughout the year so that when it's, a lean month, you can push that even more, or you just allow it to build during the year to cover up for the lean months. So if you just think of it as a pothole, okay, during the whole year, you just maintain the whole road. And maybe during the summer, you only focus on the potholes. Okay. And then the other one is diversifying. We hear this left, right, and center everywhere we go in regards to diversifying. You want to diversify your product offer. Okay. And sometimes it's not necessarily that every single offer needs to be different. It's more sometimes that every single offer is delivered differently. Okay. One time it could be a bundle, one time it could be a masterclass, one time it could be, a workshop. It is the same material, but is delivered differently. So that is one thing you want to think about when we talk about diversification. I'm going to cover it more in the coming days. When we look at, let me quickly see, we're going to be covering diversification on day 4, which is Friday. So today we're doing maximizing income. Tomorrow we're going to be doing accelerating cash flow. On Wednesday, we're going to be talking about expanding your customer base. Again, you need to have more eyeballs on your material to be able to then, have this cash injections work for you. Okay. You cannot be shouting into a quiet room. So over the year, as you're going over the months, you want to still be, increasing your customer base. And then on our day 4, which is a Friday, we're going to be having a diversifying your income streams. And we're going to be looking at different ways that you can make it sustainable. We're not about the burnout. We're not about the hustle. We're about putting in the hard work so that your business is sustainable long term, so that your business is able to maintain the lifestyle that you're trying to, bring to life for yourself and your family and your loved ones. So that is what we're going to be looking at. And just a quick segue, I am going to be having a masterclass, a 24-hour cash injection masterclass, where for 24 hours we are going to be carrying this out. I'm all about implementation. When it comes to information, there are a dime a dozen, okay? This information is all out there. You can put it together yourself and do something. But what we're going to be doing in the 24 hours masterclass is actually deciding, okay, this is what I'm committing to. And for the next 24 hours, I want to bring between 1 to 5K. It's going to be live and popping. So that's what we're going to be doing. So if you're interested to be part of the masterclass, it will be a paid event. So if you're interested in being part of the masterclass, DM me 24 hours and I'll share more details with you on that. And it is true, you can have a cash boost of 1 to 5K in 24 hours. Over the 4 days of this clinic, you're going to have different ideas of how you can go about it for your specific business. And then in the 24 hours, we're going to have your strategy in place, and that is going to happen at the end of the masterclass. And then we're going to go ahead and execute. So I'm thinking the masterclass is going to be next week. So we're going to have the masterclass, let's say on a Wednesday, and then we're going to have our 24-hour run on the Thursday. We are taking no prisoners. Okay. So if you're interested, do DM me 24 hours and I'll give you more details to that. So when you think about it now, back to what we were talking about maximizing income, when we're talking about, okay, the different ways of how you can basically bridge the gap during your lean months, we've spoken about first of all, we've spoken about the mindset you need to have, that let's not look at scarcity. I'm very much that there's not a right or wrong when it comes to mindset. Everything, it's where it needs to be. Everything, it's how it needs to be. Okay, a scarcity mindset, it's important for us to have a scarcity mindset, as well as it's important for us to have an abundance mindset. It's all about the context. Okay, if we didn't have a scarcity mindset, then we would just be, spend it all and hope for the best tomorrow. And that's not the way we think as business owners. Okay, if we had the scarcity mindset, then we'll be apprehensive about, bringing on a customer and offboarding our customer, because we think, oh, we'll not have any more. But also the scarcity mindset as well allows you to be able to, stack the hay while the sun shines. So during the good times, you want to be putting things away. You want to be putting things in place. If you recall earlier, I said during the year, you want to have these automations of this, offers that you have going out in the background whilst you focus on your main event, on your core offer, on your signature offer. And that is because you are aware that we're going to have a lean month. But then you're not focusing on the lean month. You are leveraging your scarcity mindset to then create and make use of your abundance, to make sure that your abundance is throughout. Okay? We want abundance throughout our 12 months. We don't just want abundance in month 1, month 3, month 6, and month 12. And to be able to do that is again leveraging your scarcity mindset that, okay, everything that has a start has an end. So, how do I make sure that when it ends, I'm not left out in the sea? Okay, so that is what we're looking at. And that is what we covered earlier when we spoke about mindset. If you have any questions, if you have any input, please raise your hands. I would love to have you on stage. Renee, Habiba, thanks for hanging out with me here. Let's move on. And we spoke about, okay, the different ways of how we can go about leveraging what we've got to be able to close the gaps during the lean periods. We all have lean periods. We all have lean periods. It's only that we do not feel the impact of it, which is what the cash injections are all about, because we have cash injections. And you could have cash injections throughout the year, so that's always there. And it is not necessarily a cash injection anymore. It's more probably passive income of some sort, or a different income stream of some sort that is throughout the year. When we speak about cash injection, is intentionally saying, okay, for the next 24 hours, I need to do X. I'm going to offer X so that I can reach X. And I've had clients during cash injections that have brought in more than 5K in the 24 hours. And this is cash, not promises, not IOUs. These are paid for in your Stripe, in your bank account, there and then. Okay? So what we're doing in the cash injection is making offers that are paid for there and then. Okay? So we looked at starting small, we looked at automating, we looked at diversification. You want to also review regularly as well. If I ask how often do you review your finances, it would be a good thing when I hear monthly. And it depends also on the size of the business. But monthly is a good place to start. If you can do it more frequently, that is better. So you know how to maneuver during the month. But monthly is just fine as well. But you want to have some regularity in it. You want to have some consistency in how often you do it, so that you are able to catch these patterns, to catch these trends, or to catch any red flags, or should I say amber flags, before they become red flags. You understand? So that's what we want to do. And you want to make sure that whilst you're going throughout the year as well, you want to ponder on your cash reserve. I cannot tell you how many businesses do not have a cash reserve. And this came to light for a lot of people during the pandemic, where things happened so fast and quick, and a lot of businesses were left stranded because they did not have the cash reserve. Okay. And cash reserve, again, is one of those things where you look at leveraging your scarcity mindset, because nobody could have imagined what happened. Was it 2 years ago? But it did. Some business made it. Some business were created by it, because of it. And some business failed due to it. So, do you have a cash reserve? What does that look like? If anything was to happen now, like let's say the shut off the world internet for some weird ass reason, the shut off the internet, will your business still be able to run? What is in place for your business? I had earlier this year I got kicked out of LinkedIn for over a month. For a whole month, I had no access to my LinkedIn. And my LinkedIn is my main business platform. Okay. A lot of my customers either come from word of mouth or from LinkedIn. So with LinkedIn out for a month, it was a shocker because again, LinkedIn didn't quite know what was going on, and I had to prove my identity and so on and so forth. I don't know what happened to my account till this day. They can't explain to me what happened. But the point there is, I didn't expect to be offline for that long. In fact, I didn't even expect to be offline at all. So what happened during that period so that it would not have impact my income? We talk a lot about email lists. I'm still working on that. I'm going to be honest with you. Emails are not my thing, but I'm working on it. It's something that is on my roadmap, as we call it. But a lot of it was, again, reaching out to my network, sending out emails to be able to still carry on the nurturing and also having that cash reserve to be able to cover for the month that I was out, for the month that no revenue was coming in. Okay. And then when I came back online more than a month later, I had some catching up to do, not only from the perspective of my social media engaging and kind of getting back into the flow of it, but also the income that I did not make during that month. Because yes, I did fall short that month. But then it's a great place to be that you fall short, but then you're not worried. Because the last thing you need is being worried about it as well. Because that's the kind of energy that just, puts a wrench in your wheels, to be fair. So that is the kind of things that we are looking at when it comes to, boosting revenue. You want to have the foundation. Okay. You want to have the foundation in place so that when you have this cash injection, it's not just going, in one way out the other. Okay. And you don't just want again to just be doing cash injection after cash injection. This one is almost what we can call a band-aid. It can be impromptu. And that's why it's good for you to always be reviewing the inventory of your assets, of the products you have, of the lives you have, of the YouTube videos you have, of the workbooks you've made, of the lead magnets you've made. You have so many assets in your business that are just sitting there collecting dust, that you can totally get your duster, your digital duster, dust it up and breathe new life into it by using it as part of your cash injection offer. You understand? So that is what we're talking about. So during the week, yes, during the 4 days, I want you to go through and okay, make a list of all your products, all of them, whether you're selling them or not, whether they were free or not, whether it's an audio event like this or not. Everything you have produced, you have created on behalf of your business. Even your posts, like just sitting here and talking, Renee, I just remember you're in content. If you just look at, okay, you go now into LinkedIn, and this is me just throwing ideas at you. You go now into LinkedIn, you look at your top 10 best performing posts. You take those posts, you make it a template, bada bam. That is something you can, have as part of your cash injection. You already created the post, you're just templatizing it and then sharing it with your audience. You see where I'm coming from? Give me a thumbs up if you get it. Give me a heart. Give me an emoji if you get where I'm coming from. So that's how you go about leveraging everything that you've created. That's how you go about looking at the different products, services, events that you have for your business and see how can I reposition it? Would this be of benefit to my audience, to my customer? How can I bundle it? How can I package it together to be able to fulfill that gap? And it's a two-way because you're fulfilling a gap for them, or should I say, you're closing a gap for them and you're closing a gap for yourself as well. And there's nothing better than your customer winning and you winning as well. Yeah. So, do we have any questions? Do you want to come on stage and ask a question? Okay, so with no further questions, then I am going to bring this to a close for our day one of the Cash Injection Clinic. Tomorrow, we're going to be here again at the same time for accelerating cash flow, turning invoices into rapid income, and how you go about that. So, my favor for you is first, make that list. It's going to become very, very important, especially if you're going to take part in the 24 hours sprint, cash injection sprint. Okay. And then the next thing is, please do share this event large and wide. I know there are a lot of individuals that would like to understand a bit better how they can use the cash injections in their business. Okay. How they can basically make their income in the last 2 weeks of this month. All right. And if you're interested in the masterclass, the very last thing, DM me 24 hours and I'll share more details about that with you. So, with that said, thank you very much for hanging out with me. Enjoy an awesome rest of the day, and I'll catch you here, same time again tomorrow. Bye.